ChatGPT doesn't even know the best way to get energy independence. I asked ChatGPT to get me energy independent as fast as possible. And it got it all wrong because it's reading all the news and internet queries. But really, it got it all wrong. Let me tell you what Chat got wrong and why I think it's different. If you knew how to become energy independent, you could live a life of abundance and luxury. Leave the lights on all night, turn the heat up to 80 or maybe down to 68. Enjoy heated floors and never worry about saving again because you have so much energy, it doesn't even matter. We constantly talk about saving money by conserving or shrinking our footprint. Turn off the lights or do less of this or less of that. And my salespeople talk all day about how much a solar system can save you money. And they do. Solar systems save people a lot of money. And we just had a customer text us a great review. They're saying they're now saving $400 a month and they're saving for their kids' college fund. Now, isn't that warm and fuzzy? And it's really fun. However, the flip side of this story is one of abundance and luxury. So much free and clean energy that it's guilt-free pleasure all day long. So I asked ChatGPT to get me energy independent as fast as possible. And it gave me quite a few things that were really, they're right, but they're out of order. Okay? ChatGPT says, step 1, define your energy use. You need to know how much energy you use so that you can reduce it. Right? Check your electric bill. And that makes sense. You look at your electric bill and look at how many kilowatts you use, but you don't know what used it. You don't know what used how much. It says list all your major appliances: air conditioning, heat, water heater, fridge. Okay, but what uses the most? I had one of my customers ask me after we installed a solar and battery system, I said, Joel, what's next? What's the next best thing for me to work on? And based on my experience, I think it was their fridge. They had an older fridge and they can consume a lot of energy. But I didn't really know. I didn't have good data. So trying to define our energy use can be tough. It can be really hard to know exactly what appliances or what components in our house is using all the energy. So good luck, chat. I know that's a good suggestion, but most people can't do it. Most people don't know. Okay, so ChatGPT told me step 2, cut energy waste. He says it's much faster and cheaper to reduce than to replace. Yeah, I get it. We can switch our LED lighting. We can install smart plugs and timers. Maybe use power strips to eliminate phantom loads and replace inefficient appliances with Energy Star rated ones. And that makes sense. But again, I don't know which light bulbs are the ones that are taking all the energy, and maybe they're really hard to reach or in difficult places. Or maybe I like my lights the way they are. So cutting energy waste, that is good advice. And yes, ChatGPT is correct. These are technically things you want to do. We should conserve first. But at the same time, I have other things. I have other pleasures, maybe guilty pleasures in our lives that we'd rather enjoy. All right, step number 3. This was the only one that ChatGPT got right. Install solar power. The fastest route to independence is solar plus batteries. Now, this I can agree with, and this makes sense. Grid tied with battery backup is fast. It's cost effective and it can save you a lot of money, but most customers just end up using the extra power that they're saving because they find other ways that are more enjoyable or more beneficial to use their power. I had an off-grid customer that we took down a system from the late 90s that was installed in the late 90s, and it lasted 20 plus years. It maintained meticulously. He had logbooks for every service interval for the batteries, testing the pH, refilling it with water. It was wonderful. But the system we installed was so much better and so much more powerful that he asked me right away, well, Joel, what am I going to do with all this extra power? And I said, well, you're going to find things to plug in. Maybe it's a space heater. Maybe it's a new TV. Maybe it's more lighting. Let's enjoy this extra power. This is clean, renewable energy, and it's really guilt-free. So we love it. ChatGPT told me step 4, backup energy systems. Okay, have redundancy for cloudy days and high demand. And this is true. I asked ChatGPT to help me become power independent. So for us to be truly independent from the grid, we are going to need a battery. Solar panels don't necessarily make us independent from the grid. They just produce our own power and we consume it on site. But a battery backup system is what really makes us independent from the grid and allows us to live as we want. And I love those batteries. Let's program them to be fun. Let's do fun things with our batteries. Step 5 from ChatGPT, reasons why we want to reduce or how we become energy independent. Transition heating, cooking, and transportation if needed. So electricity is only part of the picture, right? Our home, we may have gas appliances or gas water heaters, electric dryers. Those may be gas operated and we can replace them with electric. Also, transportation. So changing to an EV that's charged with solar really is independence. That right there, I can agree with. And ChatGPT got this part right, which I love. That after we get solar and battery, having an electric car creates this sense of independence because you can charge your car at home. You can have the zombie apocalypse out there and shut down refineries or trucking companies or however the fuel gets to you. And instead, we have batteries and solar at the house, and that charges our EV. Drive our car on sunshine. Talk about independence right there. So ChatGPT really did get some things wrong, but it got a lot of things right. And clearly, solar battery backup systems are in that list. But the part I don't agree with is conserving or cutting, right? No one wants to be cold in the wintertime or really hot in the summertime just so we can save power. We're getting that all wrong. We're Americans. We love to consume. We love to spend. We don't want to conserve and shrink and be tiny. Although I know some people do, and it does make sense. It's smart. It's financially conservative. Dave Ramsey would probably be unhappy with my advice here. But at the same time, in the other guys, he says he has 17 Lamborghinis and 1 Subaru station wagon. I love that line. So one last comment is to go fully off grid. To become truly independent, we're going to buy a house or some type of cabin and can be completely independent. On that, we're going to do solar, batteries, and a generator. And we always recommend running the generator off propane because that propane will last a lot longer. Other fuel types that sit in a tank can degrade over time, especially diesel. I used to work for a fuel distributor, so we know. Okay, I have a link below to an energy calculator that will help you understand how much money you're spending on a monthly, annual, and yearly basis so that you can create a budget. Because I think everyone should own solar and battery systems to become independent from the grid. But let's do it right. Let's do it smart. As it can be difficult online, there's a million results for going energy independent, and it can be confusing. I've had several of my friends tell me that when they search online, it's pretty hard to understand what's out there. So I started this channel because I want to help educate people and share my experience. I've been installing solar in Montana for 5 years now, and I've done a lot of good things, and we've done a few bad. There's a few out there that we'd say, well, that wasn't the best way to do it. I don't think we'll do that again. So take my advice and follow my channel. Please watch other videos. Have a great day.